Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing about time. Doing about time. Got myself a problem.
from San Diego. It's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, welcome everybody to Sports World Radio. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing all well. I am the host, Jeff Ascow. We got lots and lots to get to today, so bear with us. It's going to be a nice 2-hour sports journey for you all, so bear with us because there's going to be a lot to get to. The fastest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet, I guarantee it. Each and every Monday through Friday on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you just happen to live in the mountains,
if you live in the mountains, who really cares? You know, you should figure that out right now.
there you go. He says, who cares? I sure as heck don't. Hey, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio, facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. While you're doing that, you might as well follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio, twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. You want to get in touch with the show, you can Skype us at Sports World Radio Show, Sports World Radio Show on Skype only, Sports World Radio Show. SWRshow@gmail.com is our email address. SWRshow@gmail.com is our email address. If you want to get in touch with the show and you haven't liked our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, and then you can send us a message on Facebook at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. I'm on it. Send us a message if you want while you're listening to the show. We'll answer your question right on the air. Or you can come into our chat room over at Spreaker, SPREAKER, Spreaker.com. It's free to have an account. Sign up. Type in Sports World Radio after you signed up. Okay? Click the show that says live. The show will show up at the bottom of your screen. Click the bubble all the way over to the right, and you'll be in the chat room. And then you can ask our questions that way. Or you can do it on Facebook, or you can call us on Skype at Sports World Radio Show. Or send us an email, swrshow@gmail.com. Any way you see fit. All right? Hey, don't forget, don't forget we're having a contest right now. Sports World Radio is looking for a new intro for our show. Jeff Ascow, Showman, no curse words, 60 seconds long. Make sure you put Jeff Ascow and Showman in there, 60 seconds long, no curse words. Send it to introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. That's introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. And also, don't forget to sign up for our sports shorts. You want to hear what us guys are talking about during the commercial breaks? Head on over to sportsworldradio.com/sport shorts. That's sportsworldradio.com/sport shorts. Become a member today and be privileged to listen to all the conversations that we have while the commercials are going on. You got the whole month of March in there. You got the whole month of April in there. The whole month of June in there. Almost half of July is in there already. Okay? You get a free February. So you got 4 months of crap to listen to. It is phenomenal, and we do it every single day. So you get daily. Every day that we do a show, you get the recordings of all of us guys talking during the commercial breaks. And I'm telling you something, sometimes the commercial breaks are better than the show. So head on over to sportsworldradio.com/sport shorts and become a member today. With all that being said, what do you say, hey, we bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, my friend?
Doing well, Jeff. Welcome everybody to Sports World Radio on the 22nd of July of 2015. 6:08 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:08 p.m. on the West. For you people in the Central, figure that out for yourself. Shout out to Josh Lopez, the program director, producer here at Sports World Radio. How are you, Jeff? And the weather right now here is 83 degrees about.
83 degrees?
Yeah, it's really cooled off, thank goodness.
Well, it's still freaking warm out here. As you could tell, I had the air conditioner on when I called you. I waited until the very last minute to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't forget, coming up in the second hour of our show today, it is Wednesday. I just spoke to the gentleman. It is Wednesday. Ron Gallo, our hockey guru, will be in here. And since there's not a lot of hockey going on, we'll talk some hockey, and I'm sure we'll talk some other sports as well with Ron.
We will.
All right, so first topic of the day, you're at, Bastard.
All right, NBA news. A lot of stuff going on right now with Adam Silver. A division title might soon mean a banner, but no assurance of a playoff spot in the NBA. Commissioner Adam Silver said Wednesday the league is leaning toward not guaranteeing a postseason berth to a team that wins its division, forcing clubs to finish in the top 8 of their conference if they want a shot at the NBA championship.
If they want a shot at the NBA championship?
Yes.
Read that. What do you think? It's not going to matter, really, to tell you the truth.
Commissioner Silver had already said he expected a change from the current format that guarantees division winners no worse than the 4th seed. But after discussions with both the competition committee and board of governors, he believes the change will go further than that.
Well, he did say, I remember him saying that he's not going to get rid of, what is it? He's not going to get rid of the conferences or the divisions, one of those two. He might get rid of the conferences and keep the divisions. I don't remember, actually, either that, one of those ways. Okay, but he's not going to do, he said, and I remember him saying this, and maybe he's changed his mind since then, but what he said he wasn't going to do was take the top 16 teams in the NBA and stick them in the playoffs. He was going to take the 8 from the East and the 8 from the West. He was going to keep doing that.
Quote, first of all, it's never happened before that a division winner did not finish within the top 8, and our basketball analytics folks calculate that there's less than a 5% chance that it would happen. This is what Adam Silver said before taking part in a panel discussion at the Beyond Sport United program. Big decision indeed for Adam Silver with the divisions. And Josh, I got to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that the NBA should get rid of the division winners or the conferences? This is a big decision that Adam Silver has to make. Hard to say.
Personally, I think they should take just the best 16 teams in the NBA, no matter how many come from each West or the East. It's not going to matter. Okay? It's not going to matter. I think they should just take the best 16 teams. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's 12 of them coming from the West. I think they should just take the best 16 teams. That's what I think they should do. Screw the conferences, screw the division. Just make it the East, make it the West, and boom. Take the top 8 from the East, take the top 8 from the West, and go. Done.
That would sound like the reasonable solution, because I don't like the fact that you've got teams below 500 that are making it into the NBA playoffs.
Right,
that's a joke and a half.
That's why I think you split the league up 8, the East and the West, okay, and then what you do is when playoffs come, every team is fighting because you're taking the top 16 teams. Okay, you're not taking the 8 from the East and the 8 from the West. You're just taking the top 16 teams. The top 16 teams with the best records. That's what you're taking.
Yeah, I like it, and it's a good idea for Adam Silver to do this. Now, another thing that Adam Silver said for our next story at 12 minutes after the hour, Adam Silver has, quote, no doubt that the NBA could see a day when Becky Hammon or another woman is a head coach in the National Basketball Association.
Well, Becky Hammon won the Summer League with San Antonio as the head coach, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She could very well be the first women's head coach in the NBA.
Do you like it or not, Jeff? Or do you think it's just, or do you think
Okay,
that
let me
it should
ask
stay
you-
in the routine of the WNBA?
No, let me ask you this. Okay? Are they grooming her for when Popovich leaves? Is San Antonio grooming her, getting her ready for when Popovich leaves, she can take over? Is that what they're doing?
That is a possibility. I don't know.
Because she coached the Summer League this year, and she's on the bench as an assistant
That's
for
right.
Popovich. Is Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs grooming her to be the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs when Popovich retires?
Maybe after Greg Popovich retires that they could look at Becky Hammon. Now, here's what Adam Silver believes. He believes with more women playing in the WNBA or working in the NBA, and with so many men's players having women who have played in their families, there will be more opportunities for women like the one Hammond got.
Well, I have a feeling that they're grooming Hammond to be the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs when Popovich retires.
That'd be the first time ever in NBA history that you would have a woman being a head coach.
It'd be the first time in men's professional sports, period.
Yeah.
In baseball, football, hockey, or basketball, period. Correct?
Yeah, and so what I like what Adam Silver is doing with meeting with the media about, he's probably sensing and believing that he wants to figure out what's the future going to be like for the upcoming years for the NBA, since he's the new, since he's new at this. He's only been on the job since 2014 when he took over for David Stern.
They got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money coming into the league in the next couple of years, and that's going to help out. But still, there's still a long way to go.
Another NBA story. I sent something to you on Facebook Messenger, and Josh Lopez, too. Could it be that LeBron James is going to be in another movie?
Who
This could be
cares?
called Space Jam 2.
Who cares? That's my opinion on it. Who cares?
Who cares?
I don't care.
Very thrilled about that. LeBron was already in a movie this summer, and
Big
now you're
deal.
thinking that.
Big deal. Big stinking deal. Who cares he was in a movie? I don't give a flying fig Newton.
Oh, come on, Jeff. He's the popular
on.
athlete.
Oh, come on, Jeff. I don't care. I am not going to see the movie. I don't care.
Well, did you see the one with Michael Jordan in that one
You
from 1996?
want to know something? LeBron James' first movie, and he's in a love story?
Yeah.
That's really smart. First movie, and he plays in a love story? Yeah, way to go.
Look at Shabba. The
Dumbasses.
Cavaliers will probably sign Daffy Duck next to play forward.
You know what, Shaba? I don't even think they can afford Daffy Duck. Okay, they're
What
so
about
far over the freaking luxury tax, it's ridiculous. They got everybody and their mother on that team.
Yeah, Shabba. 20 players, 9 forwards and 5
They
centers.
got everybody and their mother on that freaking team over there. It's ridiculous, man.
Josh adds, thanks for ruining my love for basketball in my childhood, La Queen.
Listen, I didn't see the one with Michael Jordan in it, and I'm not going to go see the one with LeBron James in it. I could care less. I got more important things to think about than if LeBron James is going to make a movie about a rabbit.
And all the cartoon characters for children.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. That's the problem right there at the press. That's the problem. They think that's important. That's not important.
Well, anything with LeBron James is important because the media always watches his every move, and when it watches every move, they'll report on it.
I don't care.
17 minutes after the hour, back to another NBA story from LeBum James in that Space Jam 2. Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban compared DeAndre Jordan's return to the LA Clippers to, quote, Jeff, makeup sex, and said the only thing he would have done differently in the situation would have been having the center change his Twitter profile after he initially agreed to a 4-year contract on July 3rd with the Dallas Mavericks.
Who's that talking? Who said that quote?
Mark Cuban.
Makeup sex? Mark Cuban, what do you know from makeup sex?
Don't know.
What do you know from makeup sex? You don't know anything about makeup sex, Mark Cuban.
Quote, when you have a situation like DeAndre, makeup sex is always the best sex. But after the makeup sex is over, you stare at that same face and realize the problems are the same. That's what Mark Cuban told The Herd with Colin Cowherd on Wednesday. Quote, it's hard for free agents to get past that sometimes.
What a joke and a half.
Mark Cuban confirmed a deal had been made with DeAndre Jordan publicly, commented on it, and it led to a $25,000 league fine, his first since Adam Silver has been commissioner of the NBA.
Mark Cuban got fined for opening up his mouth about the situation with DeAndre Jordan, right?
Yep.
Hey, Mark, the situation is over already. I got an idea. Just shut up and move on. Okay?
You'd say that to the entrepreneur billionaire.
Yeah, Mark, the situation, the DeAndre Jordan situation, it's over, right? It happened. It's over. You actually missed the opportunity to open up your mouth when it happened. Now that you waited and opened up your mouth and got fined for it, when you should have opened up your mouth when it actually happened, when you probably wouldn't have got fined for it, but now that you waited and you said some nasty things and got fined, it's over. Move on. If you're still holding a grudge, it's not like makeup sex because you haven't made up yet, have you?
Yep.
So with that statement that you said about makeup sex, you're wrong because you're holding a grudge and you haven't made up yet. So you're wrong. Let it go already, Cuban. It's over and done with. There's nothing you can do. He signed the contract with the Clippers. There's nothing you can do about it now. It's over and done with it. Move on.
Well, Mark Cuban added this. People change their minds, Cuban said. I don't have a problem with that. Richard Jefferson called me yesterday or the day before, and we had a long talk. He changed his mind. It made sense for both parties to say, okay, let's be friends. One of the things I've learned, and I learned it probably with Steve Nash, life is a long, long, long time. Basketball is a short career. It may be 5 or maybe 10. It may be, if you are lucky, 15 years of your life. So you put things in context. From a Mavs standpoint, did it screw us up just because of the nature of free agency? I think we've recovered nicely so far, but it wasn't optimal.
Really?
So, yeah, he's getting over it, but it's taken time for Mark Cuban to get over it because he's fed up that everything fell through with that. But Jeff says, move on.
Great.
And I'm sure, Jeff, you would say that to him if he was on the show right now. If Mark Cuban came on, you'd say, well, you've got to learn to move on there, Mark Cuban.
Look what Josh says. He changes his stance as much as Skippy does. Nobody changes their tampon more than Skippy does. Nobody does.
Mark Cuban said Jefferson called him, and he holds no resentment toward players who change their minds. Coming from a Dallas Mavericks owner that's probably getting prepared for a long season and a long future, figuring out where do the teams need to go from here? Where does the Mavericks go from here?
That's a good thing. I got an idea. Instead of worrying about what DeAndre Jordan did to you and the Mavericks, worry about where you're going to go from here, because you got to still build a team, and that team that you got ain't so good right now, is it?
Yeah,
because Richard Jefferson did leave, right?
Yeah.
So you not only did you lose DeAndre Jordan, but you lost Richard Jefferson too. Now you got a little bit of a problem.
Breaking news coming into Sports World Radio, another big NBA story. In London, the Associated Press reports the NBA says the Orlando Magic and Toronto Raptors will play a regular season game in London, England on January 14th. Why are you doing this right now? It's like the season's we're already getting into a few months of the season, and now Adam Silver wants to put NBA games in London. Hey, I got an idea. Silver, quit taking a message or trying to take a page from the NFL, because you know what you're doing? You're doing exactly what Roger Goodell is going to do, and there's going to be NBA teams flying all over the world to go play an NBA season game in London.
Orlando Magic and the Toronto Raptors on January 14th. Now, I can almost guarantee you something.
What's that?
That January 14th game, what day is that?
I'm going to look for that right now.
I'm going to go and find it right now. January 14th, which is 2016. January 14th is a Thursday.
Yep.
Okay? I can guarantee you right now, the Orlando Magic and the Toronto Raptors will not play a game until either Sunday or Monday. That Thursday game, they will not play another game until they play on the 14th in London, until at least the 17th or the 18th, or maybe even further out. I guarantee they're going to give them plenty of time to get rid of that jet lag. Watch. It's unlike the NFL.
Shava goes, here we go again with freaking London.
Yeah, but it's different because they're going to go in there, bing, bang, boom, game over, and they're going to get out. Okay? They're not going to spend a week in there because they got to play games afterwards. It's during the regular season, so they got to, they got to keep going. But I can almost guarantee you that they're going to have at least 3 or 4 days off before their next game. Watch.
Scott Skiles, the Magic head coach, said, quote, I remember playing in London Magic in 1993, and I am sure our current players will relish this unique opportunity.
I'm just saying that I'm thinking that I'm heading over to NBA. I want to see if I can get their schedule, Orlando Magic schedule in front of me right now.
And the Toronto Raptors?
Well, I don't need the Toronto Raptors. I just want to see the Orlando Magic first.
Okay.
We'll go with them first. Where the hell's Orlando? There it is. I go to Orlando. You go to Toronto. How about that?
All right. I'll see if I can find it. Unless
it's easy. Go to NBA. It's easy.
Out.
Go to NBA.com. That's where I'm at. 2000. Oh, the schedule's not out yet. Okay. It's not out yet. But they have a game in London. So that's the only game that's been scheduled in London so far. Because I don't have a schedule yet.
Well, for the foreseeable future, you could see Adam Silver doing more of this, putting more teams to play some games in London, England, maybe 2 or 3 games.
Well, I think it's easier for basketball than it is for
NFL?
Yeah, because the players in the NFL, they're going to spend a week there, you know?
Exactly.
They're going to spend a week there. They're going to train there, get used to get used to the time zone and all that, time change and all that. So they spend a week there. The NBA players fly in, they're going to fly in, play their game, and fly out. So the NBA player, it's going to be tougher on the NBA players than it is the NFL players. Because the NFL players are there for a week. They get acclimated. The NBA players are going to fly in, play their game, and fly out. They ain't going to spend no time in freaking London.
It will be the 6th league game played at the O2 Arena in the British capital.
Yeah, when do you expect them to go sightseeing? They ain't going to go sightseeing.
No.
They're going to fly in, play their game, fly the hell out. Because they got another game. If it's during the regular season, they got another game to play in a couple of days. They can't spend time there. You got to get the hell out.
Look what Josh says. Jeff, London team in all 4 sports in 10 years. Guaranteed.
I would not be surprised. The only sport I don't see it doing is baseball. Hockey I can see. Basketball I can see. Football I can see. I don't see them doing baseball.
Not with Major League Baseball.
Right,
okay.
But the other 3 sports I see them doing.
Although in Tokyo, Japan, they have played Major League Baseball games in Tokyo.
That's Tokyo. That's not London, you rat bastard.
Oh, I know.
Okay, but I don't think Major League Baseball would have a team in Tokyo.
Oh, Shaba, please. I don't want to even think about the possibility of the NFL having a team in London.
How about the London Raptors? Instead of the the London, or how about the London Magic?
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. Probably the London Raptors would be better.
The London Raptors, the London Magic, the London Jaguars, scratch my ass.
That's why, Jeff, you're pushing really, really hard to make sure NFL doesn't go to London.
I don't want to see any teams in London. The London
Otherwise,
Nuggets.
It's like, rise and shine, time to get up. There's a football game on at 6 in the morning Pacific, which is 9 a.m. Eastern.
No, the London Nuggets. No, they're gonna the Denver Nuggets will move to London and they'll change the name of them to the London Tees.
Boy, I don't know about that. Denver would not be very
Like
thrilled
that?
about that.
They're gonna change the name. Any team that moves there, they're gonna change the name to the London Tees, because London drinks tea all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the London Tees.
London Tees.
What a joke that is. The London Tees. What are you going to name them? The London Tees. That's what we're calling them. Because we drink tea here.
Gary One Arm, yeah, I'm pretty sure if you are possibly listening, you wouldn't mind seeing a professional sports team in London.
You know what? If there was a professional football team in London playing in the NFL, he'd still be a freaking Redskins fan. He'd still be. The Liverpool Limeys. I like that, Shaba. The Liverpool Limeys.
Liverpool Limeys.
I like that, Shaba. I like that a lot. The Liverpool Limeys. That is perfect. That is freaking perfect. And you want to know something? On that note, we're going to run to a commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Escal and Shaw Man on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escal, Shawn Man, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West. And if you happen to live in the Central?
If you happen to live in the Central, figure that out for yourself, you boneheads.
I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they can either. It's too hard for them. In the NFL, the biggest risers and fallers in the quarterback tier rankings. NFL coaches and evaluators have long thought Ben Roethlisberger could carry a team. They just hadn't seen him do it to the extent that he did last season. Roethlisberger's performance, while passing for 32 touchdowns, helped vault the two-time Super Bowl winner into an elite company in our recently published 2015 NFL quarterback tier rankings. Championships count for a lot, and but the 35 coaches and evaluators who placed all 32 projected starters into one of 5 tiers took into account what role quarterbacks played in their team's successes or failures. Roethlisberger left little doubt last season when he set career highs for pass attempts, 608 passing yards, 4,952, and total quarterback rating, 74.8. Did you hear that, Wes?
Yeah, you hear that, Wes?
But probably Wes would end up saying, yeah, but he's got 2 Super Bowls, is what Ben Roethlisberger has.
Big deal. When was the last time he won one?
2008.
2008. When was the last time they were in the playoffs?
This year.
Last year, right?
Last year, yeah. And they
Last
lost
season.
the AFC wildcard game to the Ravens 30-15.
Right. So at least they're still making the playoffs, Wes. They're not like a team that's not making the playoffs. At least you got a shot. Okay, but Roethlisberger is getting old, ain't he?
He is, but according to what Wes has told me and Josh, is that Roethlisberger is going to have a sensational bounce back year, and the Steelers are going to have the best offense in the league.
Not with Todd Haley as our offensive coordinator, they ain't.
And I know.
And I thought Wes didn't like Todd Haley, so how can he say that? I thought Wes was.
That's the Wes perspective.
Well, I actually thought Wes was not a Todd Haley fan. If I remember the conversation I've had with Wes before, I believe he told me he was not a Todd Haley fan. So now he's turned around and become a Todd Haley fan and says they're going to have their best offensive season. With Todd Haley, I don't think so.
Best offense in the league. Roethlisberger wasn't the only major mover from the survey we conducted 1 year ago, but he made the largest percentage gain in average tier rating, 1.85 to 1.37, or 25.7%. That was enough to push Roethlisberger into the top tier with 5 other quarterbacks who have the skill sets to keep their teams in the championship mix without a ton of help.
Really?
Yep. You're right. Roethlisberger is getting old, and he's the big part of their offense. The Steelers know if they want to win the Super Bowl this year, he's got to have protection, and Pittsburgh's going to have to overcome the retirement of Troy Polamalu. They've had, and then, of course, Ray Rice is going to have to get familiar with the offensive system. And we talk about Adrian Peterson and say about how he is going to deal with it might be kind of slow. Let's not rule out Ray Rice. It's going to be interesting to see how well he bounces back.
We'll see how that's the thing right there. I want to see how Ray Rice is going to bounce back, and I want to see how Adrian Peterson is going to bounce back. I happen to think that Adrian Peterson is going to get hurt, and he's not going to be able to play the whole season because of his body. He's not used to getting the pounding.
Shabba goes, speaking of quarterback ratings, Drew Brees is the 3rd highest quarterback rating
in Madden 16.
In Madden 16.
Yeah, in Madden 16, that's a freaking damn video game. Who cares if he's the 3rd highest in Madden 16 football game? He plays real football. He's not the 3rd highest in real football, I'll tell you that.
It's a Madden NFL football game, a video game.
Exactly.
The votes are in. This is another one. The results are indisputable. The NFL decision makers consider Robert Griffin III one of the least promising quarterbacks in football history, partly because of his performance, but mostly because they just don't like him and believe only a miracle turnaround can save his tenure with the Washington Redskins.
Who said that?
Kevin Seifert, NFL Nation.
Okay, Kevin Seifert, NFL Nation, you're wrong. He's not the biggest flop in the NFL quarterback. You want to know who is?
I'm going to take a guess and say Tony Romo.
No.
Yeah, I'm off.
No. Ryan Leaf. He's the biggest. RG3 has not reached the level of Ryan Leaf. Okay? Ryan Leaf was the biggest disappointment, not RG3.
Another factor that comes into play here, most importantly, Coach Jay Gruden embraced Griffin as his franchise quarterback 3 months after he was hired, and before he had coached his first real practice, Gruden hoisted the red flag. After describing his offensive philosophy to reporters, he added, quote, "But that all depends on what Robert can handle. If he can't handle the terminology or if he can't handle a lot of the things, we might have to taper it back or cater to what he likes."
Cater to what he likes.
Yeah, remember last year there was all that discussion about how Jay Gruden and RG3 didn't get along very well. And as a matter of fact, Jay Gruden sat him on the bench toward the end of last season.
Huh. Really?
And I think that this will continue to be a distraction throughout the entire season for the Washington Redskins. Remember, I don't even pick them to be a very good team this year because RG3 had that one good year in 2012. He got the Redskins won 7 straight games, got to the playoffs. But other than that, he's just been injury prone.
Yes, he's been very injury prone. And he's going to continue to be injury prone because that's the way he rolls. There's some guys that are like that. There's some guys that aren't like that. Okay? There's some guys in all sports, that are injury prone, and some guys who go their whole career without having a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some guys who are injury prone. I totally agree with that.
Sadly, that path seems blocked in Washington. You can't rule out the possibility that this dysfunctional franchise might fire Jay Gruden and hire another coach to save Griffin. But the damage otherwise seems complete. Griffin would surprise the football world if he remains the Redskins starter in 2016, at least based on merit. Consider this season an eulogy to a dysfunctional period, one that leads to a sequel that carries at least a bit more promise.
I don't get it.
Like I said, here's what's going to end up happening with the Redskins. They have a bad year. Either they're going to cut RG3 and release him, and he'll find another place to play, or Jay Gruden, will get fired. Because Daniel Snyder will not tolerate any more of this losing. He wants to win just like Jerry Jones, but ever since he's come in and bought the Redskins, which was 1999, he has made major coaching changes, starting at the very beginning with Norv Turner, and then he went with Marty Schottenheimer, Steve Spurrier. The list goes on for a number of the coaches the Redskins have made.
Yeah, they've had many coaches in there, and they're not. I don't think they're going to do a hill of beans. They're going to have to start over. I don't like what's going on over there, and I don't know how Daniel Snyder can like what's going on over there. But for me, I don't give a crap because that takes one team out of the division that we don't have to worry about as a Giant fan.
Shabbos adds this: Redskins and Raiders remain the 2 biggest dumpster fires in pro football.
He's absolutely
I like that.
correct. He's absolutely correct. And Shaba, I told you about Breeze. He says Breeze is the 5th highest rated real football quarterback. So I wonder where Tony Romo is. Probably like 32. Guy has one good year, and people put him on his list in the top 10. Get the hell out of here.
There has been one major accomplishment with RG3. He was named the NFL's Rookie of the Year in 2012. He rushed for 815 yards as part of a read option offense.
And ever since then, he's been a piece of crap.
Yes.
Ever since then, he's been nothing. He's been an NFL bust.
That's right. And in the playoffs against Seattle, he had a torn ACL on the heels of a late-season sprained LCL in the same knee. Presumably limited his effectiveness in such a scheme. But there is something to be said for putting players in positions where they are comfortable and utilizing the instincts they have. Chavez says, Jeff, Romo is 33rd out of the 32 teams.
All right. I know. It's not going to matter. You know that.
It's not going to matter anyway because we all know that the Redskins and the Raiders are both two teams that will be, again, rebuilding and having another disastrous season. It's going to be a long time, I think, and another maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years till they can compete again. But it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a long time. It's going to be a long time.
So, yeah, one good year, Rookie of the Year for RG3. Wow.
Going to be a long time. Romo is 33rd out of 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. 33rd. Is rated. He's a 33rd rated quarterback out of 32 teams. That's great. That's freaking awesome right there. Hey, we're going to run to our first update of the day. This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Head on over to flipper.com and get your Flipper today and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again with your hand. It's the Flipper, and it's at flipper.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Welcome to the first of two updates for Sports World Radio at 44 minutes past the hour on this 83-degree day out here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. In Major League Baseball, it's the top half of the ninth inning. The Texas Rangers taking on the Rockies in interleague play. They're leading 10-8 in the top half of the ninth. The Giants, they lead the Padres in this National League contest, 7-1 in the National League West division matchup. The Reds, they're shutting out the Cubs right now, 2-0, bottom second, very early. Finals from today, the Dodgers over the Braves by a score of 3-1. The Nationals, they bounced back after losing yesterday, 4-3. The Cubs taking on the Reds. That game goes to the Reds in that day-night doubleheader. In extra innings, the Phillies, they prevail against the Rays by a score of 5-4. They've won 5 of the last 6 games, the Phillies have, because they are one of the teams that has the worst record in baseball. The Indians, they prevail in an interleague play game against the Brewers by a score of 7-4. Plenty of other action scheduled for tonight. Wednesday night baseball on ESPN. The Orioles are taking on the Yankees. Other action, you got Mariners at Tigers, Cardinals at the White Sox interleague play. Another interleague play game. It'll be the Pirates taking on the Royals. American League, the Red Sox at the Astros, Marlins taking on the Diamondbacks, Twins at the Angels, and lastly, the Blue Jays taking on the Athletics. In the NHL, of course, the big news is trying to figure out the Board of Governors meeting that there are still 4 spots available for a new NHL team. NHL expansion bids from Las Vegas, Quebec City. Toronto already has a hockey team, which is the Toronto Maple Leafs. And lastly, Seattle is a possibility. It all depends on what Gary Bettman and the Board of Governors decide. NBA news. On January 14th, the Orlando Magic-Toronto Raptors game will be played in 2016 in London, England. Other news to report, we could possibly see in the foreseeable future maybe a woman becoming an NBA head coach because of what the Spurs coach did in the summer league after Greg Popovich could leave. Could that mean that Becky Hammon becomes the new coach of the San Antonio Spurs? The NBA is looking at also making a big decision about possibly eliminating the division winners and trying to maybe go with the top 16 teams, the teams that have had winning records, instead of the teams that make the playoffs and have losing records. So Adam Silver is dealing with a lot of stuff in the NBA Board of Governors as we're just a few months away from the NBA season, trying to make changes as possible. That's your first of 2 updates for Sports World Radio. Remember, this update is brought to you by the Flipper at flipper.com. When we come back from this commercial break and update, more sports talk with Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann, followed at the top of the hour with NHL hockey talk with Ron Gallo. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey. Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. All right, Mr. Shawnee, where are we going next?
All right, Jeff, the next story that we get to in Major League Baseball, Jonathan Papelbon has expressed his desire throughout the course of the season to be traded. And there's a multiple number of teams that are not interested in pursuing him. The Toronto Blue Jays are one. The Chicago Cubs are another, and the LA Dodgers, sources told ESPN on Wednesday. 3 weeks ago, those 3 teams looked most likely to trade for Papelbon, but now it's a strong possibility that the Phillies won't be able to trade him at all before the July 31st trading deadline.
Really?
You've said many times, Jeff, that you would not see Papelbon possibly leaving. Papelbon's been fed up with the whole way the whole season has been for the Phillies. 34-63 is their record. 29 games under 500.
Well, they're out of it totally. And is there a team that's in the race looking at him that they want? Is there a team looking at him?
Possibly the Angels could be one. Maybe the Yankees could be another. Just one of those top market teams. Maybe the Royals are a possibility. Because obviously you want to make sure that when you're in contention for the pennant race, you don't just sit around for the trade deadline. However, a report came from the Yankees this week that Brian Cashman does not plan on making some kind of a big deal for the July 31st trade deadline.
That means he's going to make a deal.
Yeah.
That means he's going to make a deal. Because normally when a GM says something like that, a deal is coming.
Exactly.
I don't believe them when they say something like that. That's normally the opposite of what's happening.
Jonathan Papelbon, who's 34 years old, who made his 6th All-Star game roster of his career last week, has 16 saves with a 1.63 ERA and 36 outings this season. He picked up the win for the Phillies in the 5-4 10-inning victory over the Rays today.
Really?
Yeah. The way I look at it is that if Papelbon does not get traded for the July 31st trade deadline, I can say that after the season gets over, he'll find another place to play and he'll be out of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia needs to start over.
Exactly.
Totally.
And I believe that was what the Phillies ownership said, is that the message to the Phillies fans is that not this year. The team's not even close to being a legitimate threat again like they were in parts of the 2000s by the late decade, by the late 2000s.
Well, for me, they just need to totally start over. Just freaking wipe everybody out and start over.
Yeah, clean house.
Clean slate and start over. That's right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, how about Bill Simmons signing a deal with HBO? Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Bill Simmons has struck a multi-year, multi-platform deal with HBO. Under the deal, which begins in October, HBO will be Simmons' exclusive television home, the network said Wednesday. Among other projects, Simmons will host a weekly talk show premiering next year. It will feature stories and guests from across the sports and cultural landscapes. He will also have a production deal to produce content for the network and its digital platforms, delivering video podcasts and features. In addition, he will consult with HBO Sports. So he's going over to HBO.
That's surprising with Bill Simmons. I didn't expect that to happen.
I thought I didn't expect that to happen either. I thought he would do something with Grantland, but maybe he's bringing Grantland over.
However, I thought what they did with Bill Simmons when they let him go on ESPN, I thought that was done poorly.
Okay,
I didn't think he deserved to be fired at all.
Well, yeah, and I didn't expect him to go to HBO. So now with Colin Cowherd leaving ESPN, where's he going to show up? What's his next spot?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe go to Fox Sports, maybe?
Where's
or
he
Yahoo Sports?
Is he going to follow Simmons and go to HBO? He's got to go somewhere where he can continue his radio show. You got to figure that, right? Because he's going to want to continue doing his radio show, so he's got to go somewhere where he can do his radio show. Correct?
Correct.
So that you got to look at. So we'll see what happens. You might be right. He might go to Fox Sports. So he can continue to do his radio show. Who knows?
Fox Sports
and
or
you
maybe
know what?
a Sirius satellite radio.
Well, that'd be true, but then that'd be it. He'd just be doing his radio show. He'd probably want to go somewhere where he's going to still be on TV. You know? Who knows? Who knows with him? Maybe he's got his own thing going on.
Commissioner Rob Manfred, if you're ready for me to move to the next story,
Go
Jeff,
ahead.
at 55 minutes past the hour.
Go ahead.
Okay, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred thinks that baseball may need to consider moving the trade deadline back to give teams in the hunt for a wild card more time. A second wild card in each league was added in 2012, keeping more teams in playoff contention long past the July 31st non-waiver trade deadline. And these clubs may not have enough time to evaluate whether their rosters are good enough to get one.
So they moved the deadline to maybe August 15th?
It's possible that they could move it to maybe earlier, middle of August.
I think the middle of August would be better.
Rob Manfred said this, quote, "I think that the July 31st deadline is something that we may want to revisit in the context of the revised playoff format." That's what Manfred said Wednesday. He adds more. Obviously, when you have two additional opportunities to be in the playoffs, you have more teams in the hunt, and they may want to wait a little longer before they make decisions.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what, Shaba? I was, too. Shaba says, as for HBO, I used to like Inside the NFL as a kid with Dawson and Buoniconti. Show was simple, no Collinsworth yet. I happen to agree with you. I liked it when Dawson and Buoniconti was doing the show. Now, I don't even watch it now anymore. Don't even watch it no more. You're talking about 1983, Sean?
Yeah, I was talking about some Philadelphia sports, and I said 83 was the last time the Philadelphia 76ers won the NBA championship.
They're not going to win one. Are you kidding me? Philadelphia is cursed. The 76ers aren't going to win crap. The Phillies ain't going to win crap. The Flyers ain't going to win crap.
And the Eagles?
And the Eagles ain't going to win crap.
Never know. Double A always has the belief about those Eagles.
He's got to believe. He's got nothing else to do in Philadelphia. They got to believe. It's, Thank God it's summer right now because winter's coming for them, and they're going to freeze their petunia. Not only are they going to have a crappy NFL season, but it's going to be during winter where it's going to be crappy out all the time. So they're going to get doubly banged during the winter this year. A bad winter and a bad NFL season.
At 58 minutes past the hour, there's more about what Rob Manfred said. How about this, Jeff? Get ready for this breaking news. Okay, on July 22nd. The MLB commissioner also said his meeting with Pete Rose to discuss his request for reinstatement to baseball would come later in the summer after the Hall of Fame inductions in Cooperstown.
Right, because he's not on this year's ballot. So they got to have the meeting after the Hall of Fame inductions to see if he goes on the ballot for next year.
That'd be great. Manfred wouldn't elaborate on his critics for ending Rose's ban, saying that would be unfair to the career hits leader and would be detailed after decision has been reached.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. He's been in jail for 39 years and he's gonna stay in jail. It's not gonna happen.
MLB jail, 29.
That's right. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
No, if it did, I would be shocked, just like you would be.
That's right. I would be totally shocked if it happened. Totally shocked.
So Rob Manfred is facing decisions just like Adam Silver. He's considering possibly eliminating 8 games and making the baseball season 154 games after the CBA expires. I don't see that happening. And then he's dealing with the Pete Rose situation, and then he's looking at moving the Major League Baseball trading deadline, which is always scheduled for the 31st, maybe for another day, which would be in August.
I'm okay with that because he happens to be right. Because with them adding the other with the playing game now, you don't know if you're going to be a buyer or a seller, and you can't decide at this time of the year. You need a couple more weeks to make that decision. So I happen to agree with that.
On that note, we're at the top of the hour. When we come back from this commercial break, we've got Ron Gallo coming in for his NHL Hockey Talk.
Listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. All right, Mr. Sean, where are we going? We're waiting for Ron to get in. Once he gets in, we'll bring him on the show. Where are we going to go next, Mr. Sean?
All right, Jeff, the next story that we get to as we welcome to the second hour for Sports World Radio, we go with my favorite team, the Boston Red Sox. Well, John W. Henry was willing to blow up the Red Sox roster twice in 3 years because he wasn't interested in a beauty contest. He said as much as like 7 weeks ago, if it is clear in July that the Red Sox had no chance of contending, he said, he didn't care if they finished last in October. Better to begin the rebuilding process immediately rather than scrounge for a few extra wins.
I do believe Ron is at home. Let's see if he's ready to come on the air.
Okay. He's ready. Good.
It's up there, Mr. Ron.
Boston Red Sox.
Ron, when was the last time the Blue Jays even won a World Series? I rest my case. 1993.
Oh, my God. It's always about when. What about this year? What about right now?
They're rebuilding. They might as well just prepare for 2016.
They're rebuilding.
You know
so
what?
that excuse works for the Boston Red Sox, but no other team.
Ron, I can say this. I'll just be ready for Patriots football. I got Patriots stuff ready. Bruins hockey on October 8th and Celtics in late October.
Okay, so the Boston Bruins were rebuilding last year. The Red Sox are rebuilding this year. What are the Patriots going to be doing?
And the Celtics have been rebuilding for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And Jeff, I do believe the Celtics got to the playoffs. The Knicks. I rest my case.
See, that's the thing. You got to spread it out, Sean. You got to spread it out because every team goes through these cyclical eras. Some teams are better than others, period. And there's one reason or another. There's many reasons. It could be a strong fan base. It could be the right chemistry. It could be a good GM. For hell, it could be the janitor that makes the difference on these teams.
Well, the way I look at it is that I've been a Red Sox fan for a long time, and the way it is, it's different because we don't tolerate failure as a fan for Red Sox. If they win, it's great. If they lose and they keep this up like they're doing now, the fans are going to let them hear about it, Red Sox fans, and it's not been pretty. And I don't blame them. Boston's a tough sports town. Believe me, I was there. I know. I've been to a game. It's understandable that they don't accept losing and don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate it either.
At the end of the day, though, sports brings people together. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. But ultimately, the only ones that ever really, truly benefit are the athletes and the team ownerships. And if either one is not benefiting, rest assured they are gone. They do not have loyalty. They will go where the grass is greener.
All right, so we're here for your NHL hockey talk, and I got one of the big stories. The sweepstakes for an NHL expansion team is now down to just 2 cities. Get ready, Jeff. It's not Seattle. It's not Toronto. It's Las Vegas and Quebec City.
That's a bunch of crap right there. I hope they go to Quebec City, not Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, I still say Las Vegas is going to be ending up as an expansion. I've already been in this discussion and this argument all day today with people wanting to know how can one relocation and one team be an expansion. That doesn't make for a balanced league. And the big argument here is that since the realignment, there has been no balance. How do you get a balanced NHL when you have 16 teams playing out of the East and 14 teams playing out of the West? 2 extra teams miss out in the postseason in the Eastern Conference because of the misalignment.
Exactly, and I still say that Gary Bettman, this is a stupid move again that you're doing. You're talking about putting an NHL team in Vegas. Jeff pointed out, I don't know when it was, Jeff, if it was yesterday or sometime last week on the show, you had pointed out to me, just wait, because the NHL in Vegas is not going to last forever. It'll be gone in a couple years, and they'll be moving to another place.
That's because there's so much.
Gary Bettman is getting close to the end of his tenure. I mean, it's not going to go on forever. He is going to end. And the thing is that he's digging in his heels for Miami. Word on the street is now that he's digging in his heels with Arizona Coyotes as well, because he doesn't want to see those 2 teams or 3 teams, if you say Tampa Bay, as well as the Florida Panthers, as well as the Arizona Coyotes failing. What I find really odd and bizarre is he allowed the Atlanta Flames to just kind of disappear with barely a whisper. One summer, not too long ago, they just kind of closed the doors and reopened in Calgary and became the Calgary Flames, and nobody speaks of the Atlanta Flames anymore. The Arizona Coyotes, I honestly think that they are going to be relocated, not this season, but the following season to Las Vegas, and that's where Vegas is going to get their team from. I don't think if Bettman had a crystal ball, I don't think Bettman was seeing anything other than expansion of two teams in the West, being Las Vegas and Seattle. Right now, the bids have come from Las Vegas and Quebec City, as you've mentioned and pointed out, and I've told you guys this for a long time, that I thought Quebec was a better viable option for an expansion team than anybody else that's out there, because Vegas is in the process of building. And as Jeff has pointed out many times, there's the problem with being in Las Vegas and losing out on all of those revenue opportunities from sports bettors. And Seattle, all of a sudden, Seattle goes from having 2 prospective expansion bids in that area to none. There are some huge problems and some political problems in the Seattle area as to why those 2 bids, neither one of them ended up ultimately coming through. So something's happening behind the scenes that nobody's aware of, at least not yet.
Jeff, your thoughts about Seattle deal falling through?
I wish they would go to Seattle. I really don't want them going to Vegas. Come on, really, man?
The gambling capital of the world.
I really don't want them going to Vegas. I really, really don't.
Look what Shabba even points out. It won't last in Vegas, but the uneven alignment needs to be fixed.
The uneven alignment is not going to be fixed with one relocation and one expansion team, especially when it's going to be expanded in the Eastern time zone. If you move Detroit over, you're still only going to have 15 teams on the one side. You're still going to have 16 teams over on the East. At least that's a little bit more balanced than it is right now when you have 30 teams and you have too heavy on the Eastern Conference. You've got a 16-14 split right now. If an expansion comes in and there is not a new realignment, we're talking 17-14. Can't be. It just can't happen. They have to move Detroit back into the Western Conference.
17 teams and then 14, Jeff. You're probably just sitting there shaking your head hearing all this.
Yeah, I don't like that 17-14 bull. That's ridiculous, man.
Unless, I mean, the other thing is like, go back and analyze what I said about Bettman digging in his heels and not wanting to lose his footprint in the state of Florida, where he has 2 teams, including 2 teams that have both won a Stanley Cup. The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning have both won and hoisted Stanley Cups, and just this past season, it was Tampa Bay that was playing the Chicago Blackhawks for the Stanley Cup again. But could it be that there's a relocation in the works for the Florida Panthers, which would make it a 15-15 split prior to expansion? Now you got to factor in expansion. And I still say that Bettman had his eyes on balancing out the alignment sooner than later and was expecting it to be this season, and things just have not worked out, especially in Glendale, Arizona, where the city council is now reneging on their promise to make sure that the new arena gets built and there's a long-term lease in place for the Arizona Coyotes to play NHL hockey in their city. So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot going on politically, and a lot of it is money motivated. But right now, the waters in the NHL are not very still, and there is some turbulence in different areas. I still think that Seattle can be a viable option, but the city council in Seattle or Bellevue need to figure it out, because Bellevue is where the arena should be placed.
Here's a quote from what Gary Bettman did say, Jeff and Ron. Quote, "Our purpose in initiating the expansion process in the manner we did was not only to explore the possibility of admitting new members to the NHL, but also, at the outset, set realistic guidepost to distinguish between bona fide expressions of interest. For example, those which have at least substantial ownership capabilities and an arena, or the realistic possibility of an arena, from those indications of potential interest, which were, at best, merely hopes or aspirations. The release stated, quote, apparently only Mr. Foley and Quebecer have the confidence in their ability to secure an arena and suitable ownership capability to move forward with this process.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of rhetoric. It doesn't say much of anything. It just says, listen, we're weighing the options. These are the people that have come in with bona fide bids. I don't know. I mean, at the end, there is going to have to be another realignment if Quebec ends up getting an expansion franchise. If it's a case of relocation, then we still work with 30 teams. And depending on where they get placed, we still may need to have a slight modification of the realignment that happened a couple of years ago. You can look at it all you want. We can discuss it again all you want. But Detroit does not belong in the Eastern Conference.
That was a joke.
No, they do not.
They made that.
No, they do not. That's a joke and a half right there. Right?
Oh, without question.
It's a joke and a half.
Because I can remember growing up and how big the Red Wings were in that Western Conference, and the great Red Wings Avalanche rivalry. That was a great matchup to watch.
There's always going to be lots of good rivalries. It's a matter of how it gets marketed and how it ends up ultimately playing out. And rules will dictate a lot of how rivalries will transpire. You need to have somebody that one team can latch onto and the other team can hate. A good example for you, Sean, in the Boston Bruins franchise, Milan Lucic. He is the player that everybody loves to hate, and sometimes it was a love-hate relationship even with inside the Boston Bruins dressing room.
That's true. On that note, we're at the quarter after the hour. We got to run to a commercial break. We've got more hockey talk with Ron Gallo. Be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow new way to workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. It is Wednesday, so joining us like he does each and every Wednesday in the second hour of the show, our good friend and hockey guru, the Canadian connection himself, Mr. Ron Gallo. What's up there, buddy? See, this time I gave you a proper...
Yep, the Canadian connection.
This
you
time
need to
I
get another voice from up north.
Yeah, this time I gave you a proper introduction. Last time you just came on and we just went right for it.
Well, that's because I started lighting into Sean there with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah,
I know. That's all right.
All right, so where are we going now, boys?
All right, defenseman Josh Manson and the Anaheim Ducks have agreed to a 2-year, $1.65 million contract extension through the 2017-18 season. What's your thoughts about that move, Ron?
Yeah, it's pretty standard. I mean, everybody else, the free agency signing tracking has been going on, and there's really been nothing of substance. Every team's got their guys that they're signing. Most of them are just, as you mentioned, signing them to short-term contracts. So I think for the most part, it's all but over. It's just a matter of kind of solidifying team rosters heading into training camp now.
Yeah, and the Ducks, with the moves they're trying to make, I remember there was another Anaheim Duck, I think that's when we had some technical difficulties last Wednesday, are trying to feel like how close they were to getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. They're going to be back next year, the Ducks are. They're going to be a tough team to beat. It'll be interesting to see what our picks will be before the NHL season begins when September rolls around.
You're talking about picks, and there's already people that are out there posting picks. Some of them are considered to be pretty big names, and they're already starting to hang their hats on certain teams. And as I just mentioned, we haven't even solidified all of the team rosters yet.
No.
I mean, barely the schedule's been released, and people have started buying tickets for different games that they want to check out. But Ron McLean, okay, up here in Canada, there a pair of celebrities, if you will. They have been analysts of the game for a number of years. They work together. Don Cherry is a former coach of the Boston Bruins, famous for losing a Stanley Cup because of having too many men on the ice and then having a penalty in overtime that cost him a Stanley Cup. Don Cherry and Ron McLean have been partners together on the CBC's Hockey Night in Canada for years and years and years. Ron McLean today has released a statement that says his pick for the Stanley Cup this year, and this one here has turned a lot of eyebrows, even from Oiler fans, because he has said that the Edmonton Oilers can hoist the Stanley Cup this year. I personally think it's way too soon to, number one, be making picks, and certainly way too soon to be picking a young team like the Edmonton Oilers for a Stanley Cup championship. I think that they have it in them, but let's make the Stanley Cups first. Don't forget, 5 of the last 6 years, the Edmonton Oilers have had the first overall pick because they have floundered in the basement of the standings.
I wouldn't get my hopes up about Edmonton, and I don't even make a prediction yet. The NHL season's not even close to being there, but we're only a few weeks away from the NHL players reporting for training camp. It's coming up.
You kind of threw out the Anaheim Ducks out there. If you had to pick one team, and it can't be the Boston Bruins, and for me it can't be the Montreal Canadiens, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that for Jeff, it can't be the Los Angeles Kings. But if you had to pick one team that could potentially have the makings from what you've seen and heard so far and carrying over from last season to win the Stanley Cup, who would it be?
That's a tough choice. The Blackhawks.
You can't pick Boston.
The Blackhawks are a possibility.
Okay. Right now, the overwhelming favorites are the Chicago Blackhawks.
I hate to admit it, but I have to.
Being called the dynasty, getting one more year with their key players, and signing a couple that were going to be looking at free agency. The two teams that are kind of at the top, 2 of them come from the West, Chicago Blackhawks, the Anaheim Ducks, and out east, right now there still seems to be a little bit of uncertainty, but it's surprising. Out east, there is a pick that the Ottawa Senators can do well, and there is a pick that the New York Rangers can do well next year.
Yeah, I was going to mention that about the Rangers, that they had something, and I couldn't seem to find it, that the New York Rangers have always seemed to, the last couple of years, put together these good teams and try to bring the cup back to New York for the first time for the Rangers since 1994. The Islanders haven't won it since 83. But the problem is, Ron, that every time the Rangers get to the postseason, they just can't get past a big step. Like they can't get past maybe the semifinals or the Eastern Conference Finals or even the Stanley Cup Finals. What is it that makes the Rangers lose? Is it just because the other teams are stronger, or is it just an epic choke?
No, I wouldn't go so far as to say a choke. I think it's more if you look at the age, if you look at the average age of the players on those teams, the New York Rangers are slightly older than most of the other teams. And that came from a few years ago when the New York Rangers were known as a retirement club. And they were buying up all of the free agent players that were getting close to the end of their tenure. You look at some of the names that have gone through the New York Rangers in the past decade, and you're going to see a lot of them have retired as a New York Ranger after they had played much of their career against the Blue Shirts. So right now, the New York Rangers have got to start thinking about getting a little bit younger, but maintaining some experience and not going drastically young. Otherwise, you're going to end up just kind of playing yourself out of the field or out of the mix because of a lack of experience. I think that their hurdle has been their age. If you look, the number of injuries, the age of the players, have all kind of conspired against the New York Rangers as they gotten deeper into the postseason. And sure enough, another retirement comes out of the New York Rangers shortly after the end of the season with Martin St. Louis announcing his retirement.
Yeah, and Chris Kreider says, winning the Stanley Cup starts in the offseason. The Rangers proved that winning the President's Trophy as the NHL's best regular season team means absolutely nothing. For the New York Rangers, it still has continued to be devastating a few months later after they had the best record in hockey and expectations were high, but then they lose a heartbreaker to the Tampa Bay Lightning at Madison Square Garden, and it still sticks with them, and it's still pretty tough. It's made for a long summer.
It's not just the New York Rangers that suffer from that. You remember heading into the postseason, we were talking about that. We were talking about that with the likes of the St. Louis Blues. Here's a team that challenges for the President's Cup every year, yet gets bounced in the first round of the postseason. And it's happened 4 years in a row. You look at the San Jose Sharks. The San Jose Sharks have never gotten past the Western Conference Final. And yet, those are strong teams in the regular season. Teams don't like playing against the likes of the St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks because they always do well in the regular season.
It's true. And when you look at the way the Blues are, and we've talked about that too on previous shows, that they're like the Rangers. Every time they get there, everybody thinks, they're going to be the team that can be really tough to beat in the playoffs. Then something just doesn't click, and they end up getting bounced out.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Rangers, though, I think that was even a big blow for them, that they just can't get that ultimate prize. And, of course, will probably compete, but you're like saying, Ron, that the age has a lot to do with it, like you pointed out earlier.
They still have time to get a little younger, but the age has played against the New York Rangers ever since they hoisted the cup in 1994. Ever since then, shortly after that, they were seen as a retirement home. That's where the older players seem to end up playing for the New York Rangers. They just didn't seem to be able to gel when when it got tough. That I'm talking postseason. When it got tough, they just didn't have the muscle anymore to be able to compete with the younger studs.
Now let's go to the crosstown side. What about your thoughts of the New York Islanders? Is it kind of the same way with them or not really at all?
No, the New York Islanders, watch out for them. It's way too early to be picking where they're going to place, but the New York Islanders, you'll remember even this past season, they went on a bit of a tear, and they were surprisingly out in front and getting the job done. I think that the New York Islanders are going to build on that success. Where we're going to have a problem with the New York Islanders is identity. They are not going to be playing out of the Nassau Coliseum anymore.
Yeah. So we'll see what ends up happening for the Islanders. Another big move, the Sabres, they re-signed Larsson, 23, to a one-year deal. What's your thoughts on that move?
Well, the Buffalo Sabres have to do something. They did not get the first overall pick. They did not get Connor McDavid. That went to the Edmonton Oilers. But Buffalo Sabres got the number one pick out of the United States in Eichel. And Eichel at one point was contemplating the idea of sticking around in the NCAA, but the Buffalo Sabres had a conversation with him, and they talked to him about their plans moving forward, and that it would be a good fit, not just the money-wise, because he's entitled, whenever he decides to play his first season, he's entitled to X amount of dollars for his first 3-year contract. No player gets more than an entry-level contract, no matter how good they are or how high they went in the draft or anything. Connor McDavid and Eichel will end up earning the same amount of cash as each other for the first 3 years that they're in the NHL. So Eichel was thinking that he would stay in the NCAA. He let Connor McDavid run show this year, and then he would come in next year when he had an opportunity to come in and become Rookie of the Year. Now, if he comes in this year, he has to carry a team that's been in the basement and basically self-imploded and destroyed itself through confidence, everything. They just completely fell apart, the Buffalo Sabres did. So Eichel will have to come in now and hoist up this team and try and carry the load. He felt he wasn't the player to do that. He needed a supporting crew. In the conversations that he's had with the Buffalo Sabres, and they have assured him that they are going to supply him with the tools to get the job done. So Eichel has agreed to skate and sign with the Buffalo Sabres and play his rookie year in a year where it would take an absolute miracle for him to become Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and before we go to our second update of the day, I'm just going to say real quickly that I always thought, Ron, that the loss of Lindy Ruff had a lot to do with it, too, and they fired him because, after all, he had done a great job as coach of the Buffalo Sabres, and then they let him go.
Without question, Lindy Ruff had been the heart and soul of the Buffalo Sabres for a long, long time.
Indeed. And on that note, we're going to run to our final update of the day.
This update is brought to you by The Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and get your Flipper today and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. It's The Flipper, and it's at flipperflipper.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the final update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Here's some of the headlines that we have in the NBA for our second update of the day. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, said Wednesday the league is leaning toward not guaranteeing a postseason berth to a team that wins its division, forcing clubs to finish in the top 8 of the conference if they want a shot at the NBA championship. That's one of the other big stories that's making news in the NBA. Becky Hammon, another big story in the NBA. Could she become maybe the first woman coach in all of professional sports history after the job she did with the San Antonio Spurs, or another woman? According to Adam Silver, that is a possibility. In the NHL, the big news, of course, making headlines, the down to 2 cities now for an expansion team, either Las Vegas or would it be Quebec City? Time will tell as Gary Bettman is continuing to meet with the Board of Governors. We've got action right now in Major League Baseball. Let's get everybody caught up on what's going on. End of the third inning in Cincinnati National League game, and it's the Cubs and the Reds tied at 5. Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN, the Yankees, they have struck for 3 runs on a 2-run home run by Mark Teixeira, leading 3-0. The Mariners and the Tigers, they're tied at 0, bottom of the second. Finals from today, the Dodgers 3, Braves 1, Nationals 4, Mets 3. The Reds, they take game 1 of that day-night doubleheader, 9-1 against the Cubs. In extra innings today, the Phillies over the Rays by a score of 5-4. The Phillies have played better ball despite being 29 games under 500. They've actually, get my knowledge correctly, they've actually won 5 straight games. The Indians, they prevail against the Brewers by a score of 7-5. The Rangers, they hold off the Rockies by a score of 10-8 in a slugfest. The Giants and the Padres, that game goes to the Giants by a score of 7-1. Other action tonight, interleague play, it'll be the Cardinals at the White Sox, Pirates taking on the Royals, Red Sox at the Astros, Marlins at the Diamondbacks, Twins at the Angels, and lastly, it'll be the Blue Jays taking on the Athletics. That is your final update of the day. Remember, this update is brought to you by the Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com. Never, ever have to touch your toilet seat ever again. We'll be right back after this commercial break and update with more NHL hockey talk with Ron Gallo, Jeff Eskow, and Sean Mann.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, don't go nowhere. We're back. Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, Ron Gallo, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday. Ron joins us every Wednesday in the second half of the show to talk hockey with us. All right, boys, let's keep it going.
Okay, I want to talk real quickly, Sean. Real quickly, we were talking about memorabilia, team memorabilia during the commercial break. Question for you, Jeff. Las Vegas Aces. Do you ever buy their memorabilia?
The Las Vegas Aces?
That would be the team, the NHL team, if they get moved to Las Vegas. The word on the street is that the team coming to Las Vegas will be named the Las Vegas Aces.
That's disgusting.
Las Vegas Aces.
No, because I will not buy a Las Vegas Aces hat, jersey. In fact, you know something? When they put that team in Vegas, and when I go to Vegas on vacation, I am not going to a hockey game. In fact, I'm going to go during hockey season, and I'm not going to a hockey game.
A Las Vegas Aces hat for Jeff would drive him nuts.
The only way I'm going to go to the hockey game, if somebody gives me comp tickets, and then I'm going to go out on the street and sell them.
And sell them.
That's right, because I don't want to be there. Hockey game. You know, that's what's going to happen. They're going to be giving comp tickets away because nobody's going to be going to the games.
And keep this in mind, Jeff, that during the updates, I'll be mentioning Las Vegas Aces during the updates.
Really? The Las Vegas Aces? Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
If the team is there, he would have to. Come on. And I mean, imagine the day that
Who's
they win the
saying
Stanley
that?
Cup and they have to hand out the rings.
A parade in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Aces.
Who's saying the Las Vegas Aces? Did Gary Bettman say that?
No, the group behind Las Vegas. They've already got their jerseys released and their name.
Well, that don't mean crap. The rest of the teams have to approve it first.
That's correct.
Disgusting.
That's correct.
That's disgusting. Aces.
This is that old adage, build it and they will come. But yeah, the Las Vegas Aces is an NHL concept. There is a video out already. Hockey jerseys are showing in it. The logo obviously is showing in it.
Really?
Well, I'm going to post it real quick.
Post it right in the chat room.
I'm going to right now. Anyways, yeah, just thought I would throw that out there after we were talking about shirts and whatnot.
The Las Vegas Aces.
That's the one.
Oh, gosh. Oh, wait a minute.
There ain't no way in God's green earth that I am going to see the Las Vegas Aces play.
Can you just imagine there's going to be like an Elvis impersonator?
In fact, you want to know something? If I go during hockey season and I get comp tickets, I might just go to see what they do.
Oh, my gosh. I'm looking at the images of it. Their jerseys are disgusting.
I might just go to see what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just to see what what Vegas is doing with the NHL. That's disgusting.
I've just seen
the Las
jerseys.
Vegas
Wow, that's
Aces.
Disgusting.
Boy, they're really plastering it everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are they doing? A retro of the old America?
Yeah, something about like there'll be retro rather, back to World War
II or One or whatever.
I guess.
Yeah. That's what they're doing, huh?
And
those
there's
uniforms
talk
are
of,
ugly.
Like Elvis impersonators, and yeah. Anyways,
the Las Vegas
check
Aces.
out the video. It's only
I'm
a
watching
concept
it
right now, but
I'm watching it right now. I'm watching the video right now.
I posted the link.
Is that
on the
there?
chat room.
Oh no! Wait a second. Time out. Is their dog a mascot?
So is Elvis.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so is Elvis, Jeff. The guy who dresses up as Elvis Presley.
Yeah, but he's not a dog. Ruff ruff.
Yeah, I see the dog.
They got a goofy-looking dog, man.
Oh, my
Cod
goodness.
and join the... yeah, see, they're going back to the 1930s, man. 1940s in the war, way back then.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot going on in that video.
There is.
But, take a look at the next link, and that'll show you the concept of the videos. I just quickly threw in a link that'll get you to see the jerseys. That's the 3 jersey concept, the home, away, and the 3rd jersey.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. I'm not watching that video no more. Yes, I see the...
Who's going to be the first fan of the Las Vegas Aces?
Did I hear right that they have season tickets sold already?
Yeah.
Did somebody say the other day 13,000?
They have commitments. They have commitments for
seats?
season tickets.
13. They have commitments. That don't mean that the people are actually going to pay.
The commitments means they have a credit card on file.
1,300 seats? 13,000 seats sold already?
What have I heard? 13. They're past the 9,000 mark. They are into 13,000. Yes, they were at 9,000 back in May. They are 13,000 right now
for season ticket holders.
Yes.
I want to know. How many hotels have bought season tickets?
That's without question. That's corporate support. That's not your average, everyday Joe Blow want to go see some people skate around on thin ice. That is the Treasure Island. That is the Flamingo. That is the Paris. That's all of those hotels and
buying
other
a bunch
corporations buying tickets.
Buying
without question.
Buying a bunch of season tickets. Not just one package, but a bunch of packages so they can give more than, give out a bunch of tickets for the same game. Right?
Yeah.
Now, how much you want to bet?
What color is that jersey, Ron? Periwinkle? LOL.
It's black. No, it's gold. It's white. It's blue. I don't know.
It's disgusting. What I want to know is how many hotels have bought how many season ticket seats? And how many of those hotels are going to give those comp tickets to high rollers, or are they going to give those comp tickets to regular Joes?
Bottom line is it becomes some kind of a tax write-off
for all the
People
hotels.
Enjoy it.
For all the hotels, because you got to be a schmuck if you're a hotel owner not to buy a bunch of season tickets.
Do it. It just becomes something you can hand out at the concierge table.
Exactly. Looking for something to do tonight? Here's 4 tickets. Go take your family to a hockey game.
Yeah, Jeff. And then what happens if you go to the arena and you get a free Las Vegas Aces jersey?
I'll bring it back to Sports World Radio show, and I'll burn it on the air.
We are going video.
We're going video, and I'll make a video of me burning it right on the air.
Jabba says they'll get their, quote, aces kicked.
That's good, Shaba. I like that. I just don't like the idea of a team being in Vegas. I don't because you know what's going to happen. Every team that comes into play, every team that plays the Vegas team, that game is not on the board. You can't bet on that game.
That's the way the rules are right now. I'm just curious if that's going to change.
How can they change it?
I'm just saying you've got to think that something like that has been contemplated, thought out, considered, and there's going to be something that changes it. Somehow there's got to be an exemption. Gary Bettman is not going to be putting a team in Las Vegas without having thought that through. He's stupid, but I don't think he's that stupid.
Yeah, but he still can't do it. Still can't do it. I don't care who the hell you are. You can't bet on a game in Vegas.
There have been other teams that have played in the Las Vegas area, whether it be the Arena Football League or the Lingerie Football League
can't bet on the games. They're not on the board.
So nothing that's being played in Las Vegas you can bet on.
Correct.
There's no exemptions in the past.
Except for the boxing match.
Okay, so why is there an exemption with the boxing match?
I have no idea, because that's where they go to fight anyway. You know? I have no idea. But that's the way it's always been.
So what I'm saying is if that door is open because of boxing, if that door is open, Gary Bettman believes that he can push it completely open.
He better have the okay. He better have the okay. Yes, they did, Shaba. He better have the okay from Vegas before he decides to put a team in there.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll continue with more of this conversation. We got to run to our last commercial break of the day.
You're listening to Jeff Escow, Sean Man, and Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until wait. Don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. We're sitting here talking about the Las Vegas Aces.
What happens if the Las Vegas Aces possibly win a Stanley Cup? They'll go crazy in the gambling capital.
I'll tell you something. If the Las
Nobody
Vegas
will know what the hell they're partying for.
If the Las Vegas Aces are born and they make the Stanley Cup, there'll be no betting on the Stanley Cup. How disappointing will that be for all the hockey fans that they can't bet on the Stanley Cup in Vegas?
Ooh.
Vegas won't have it on the board.
What do you say about that, Ron?
I mean, we've already discussed that. I want to touch on something else that's fan-related and NHL-related. I'm not sure if you guys saw this or not, but the self-proclaimed world's largest corn maze is honoring the Chicago Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
They have this awesome tribute, if you will, but the giant corn maze allows you to go through, and the aerial view shows 2015 Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup champions. It looks like it's got a portion of the maze looks like it's got Corey Crawford. Another portion looks like it's got Jonathan Taves, and of course it's got the hammer, and it's got the can I say Indian head? Is that like still politically correct after what's happened in the NFL?
On this show, it's just fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't mean it to be racial by any extent. I mean, we've always referred to it as the Indian head, haven't we?
Hey, this is the most un-PC sports show you'll ever hear, so say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I got into that discussion as well because of the renaming of some of the teams. The NCAA is not allowing for the Fighting Sioux. You guys remember all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the changes that have been coming through the pipelines, trying to be politically correct and not to use team names that are considered to be derogatory to a nationality or a race.
Oh, boy.
Really?
But anyways, yeah, I kind of got sidetracked there for a second because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't saying something inappropriately. I don't mean it for sure. But I think that that's super cool. This thing here, I can't remember how big it is, but it is huge. It's massive. And the aerial view gives you an idea of it. They had it listed for the size. It's 11 miles of trails.
Wow. 11 miles of trails?
Yeah.
It's a lot of freaking walking, man.
It's in Idaho.
Idaho?
Idaho.
The land of potatoes?
Oh, my gosh.
That's where Sean lives.
Which part of Idaho there, bud?
Not sure if they gave the city or not, but they did get permission from the Chicago Blackhawks to use their logo.
Sean, you got to go over there and go through the maze for us, man.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Take a video. Take your video camera. Take your video camera and walk through the maze with your video camera the whole time.
Corn maze? I think I know where that is. I have to find that.
Yeah, you got to go there and check it out for us, dude. You got to walk through the corn maze with your phone.
It really does. It's huge.
You got a link?
I already mentioned 11 miles.
You got a link?
I'm just looking for one right now. I have a link from a Canadian website, so I'm hoping that it'll still work for you guys. But let me just see if I can get it posted.
11 miles, man, that's crazy. Yeah, Sean, if it's close to you, got to go over there, take your phone, and videotape the whole thing with you going through the maze with your phone. That would be cool. Don't have the phone on you. Have the phone on the maze as you're walking through it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
There's a link now.
Holy
I just
freaking
posted it in the chat room.
Holy
It will
freaking
show you
Toledo.
the overhead view. In the overhead view, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 8 properties.
Yeah.
That are just kind of at the top end of it.
I'm looking at it.
Holy freaking Toledo, man. It's huge.
If you scroll down, it'll actually show you the maze, and I believe it shows you the route.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where do you start? Oh, that's where you start right there.
Yeah, 11 miles of it.
Okay, Sean, you go. We went 11 miles. It'll take you about 4 hours to do. You can go.
Oh, Lord. 4 hours? That'd be good.
Yeah, you should check it out, dude.
Josh and Frank would be in heaven because they know it's a Blackhawks thing.
Yeah, check that. That is freaking cool, man.
That would be great, though.
Out in Idaho.
Yeah, Sean, you got to do that, dude. You got to go and do the maze.
Speaking of the Stanley Cup champions, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Stanley Cup is in Finland, or just about to finish its tour in Finland. Huh, I didn't even realize that. Just about to finish its tour through Finland, with Kimmo Timonen being the latest to have his day with the Cup. Anyways, every summer, the Stanley Cup goes around to all of the hometowns of all of the players and the coaching staff. And so right now, the Stanley Cup is in Finland. Kimmo Timonen, brought it to his hometown. And there was a huge parade on Tuesday in front of an estimated 10,000 people.
Hey, this thing is in Springfield Grove, Illinois.
The one that's in Idaho, there's one that's in Idaho, like as I mentioned.
Hey, Sean.
What?
Oh yeah, we got it. Well, the one that they're talking about here, I guess that big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Richardson Adventure Farm in Springfield Grove, which lays the claim to cutting the world's largest and most corn maze, switched design plans this month to honor the local hockey team. So that's what it is. It's the Richards Adventure Farm in Springfield Grove, Illinois that did it.
Okay, so there is another one in Idaho, though.
Yeah, there's another one in Idaho. The one we're looking at is in Spring Grove, Illinois. Okay, it costs $13.50 to go walk the maze. How about
I believe
that?
It sounds about right.
The farm will be open from August 29th through November 2nd, and wanderers 13 and up can wind their way past Corey Crawford's glove hand for $13.50. $13.50. How crazy is that?
$13.50 for a 4-hour walk. Yeah.
Apparently, there's one in the University of Idaho as well.
Yeah, the second corn maze in Orchard, Hobart, Indiana, and then there's another one in.
That's Boise, Idaho.
That's Boise, Idaho. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, not Boise. Idaho. I got to remember where that's at. University of Idaho.
That's just crazy.
Vandals.
Yeah, this one that we're looking, the one that you
Either
sent
way,
us
that's
is
pretty
Illinois.
freaking cool.
Yeah, the one that you sent us is in Illinois. That is freaking way cool, though. But still, that is way cool. That is way, way cool. And then there's another one. That's what it was, Ron. We called our maze designer out in Idaho and asked him if he had time to create a new design. So the guy who created the design lives in Idaho.
Gotcha.
Then we got permission from the Blackhawks to use their logo. So the guy that created it lives in Idaho. You got to find this guy. Got to find this guy. That is pretty cool. So it's in Illinois, so we got to send Josh and Frank out there to go and do the maze. Because they live in Chicago. They got to go over to Richardson's Adventure Farm in Spring Grove, Illinois, and go through the maze and take video camera as you're going through the maze. That would be pretty cool, huh? If there was one out here, I'd do it.
Yeah, absolutely. There is one out in my neighborhood, but not nearly to the the distance that the one we're talking about is. If I get an opportunity to do the corn maze out here, I'll do a video.
There you go. That is pretty cool. And on that note, we're getting a flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. We know we had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Remember, we'll be back again tomorrow for another edition of Sports World Radio. Until then, my friends, remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. Until tomorrow, for Ron Gallo, Sean Mann, I'm Jeff Escal. This has been Sports World Radio.
Goodbye.
Shut
Have
up,
a great
Skip.
day.
Shut up, Skip.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over. See you next time.
Next time? When's that?
Pretty soon. Don't worry.
Pretty soon? How long is that?
In a little while, man.
Goodbye, folks. Goodbye, folks.